Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Route 99. This video is going to be very interesting video. Before we jumping directly to this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel and do join the WhatsApp group which is present there in the comment box and description box. IIM Indore is setting up CAT 2026, and if you're an aspirant right now, whether you are just starting out the CAT preparation or deep dive into your mocks, this single sentence should change how you are doing the preparation, because IIM Indore did not just set up the paper, they are planning to redesign it. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why IIM Indore is up next, what they have done every single time when they have convened the CAT exam in the past, and most importantly, what you need to do differently in your preparation starting from today. This is not going to be a generic video. This is not a generic CAT 2026 strategy video. This is a deep dive into one IIM that has changed this exam more aggressively than any other. Let's get into it. Before we go deep, let me give you 5 things that matter a lot. Think of it as a LRDI. If you are having very short period of time, you can also take a screenshot of this, that I am Indore right now is in rotation process. After I am Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Kolkata, Kozhikode that have conducted exam in the past 5 years, Indore is the only senior IIM that hasn't convened exam after 2020, and they are going to take and conduct this MBA exam. Two, every single time Indore conveyor, I would say the ship of in I am Indore conveyor has changed something. Let me tell you, in 2023, 2024, 2022, these are the three times where they have changed the wheels, they have changed the structure. No other IIM has used this lot aggressively as IIM Indore did. Third one, the base case is still 68 questions, 120 minutes, 3 sections. Indore is unlikely to scrap the current format, but you will see so many tweaks during the CAT exam because there might be some changes into the pattern. Fourth factor and fourth vertical is VA, RC, and DLR are the two watch areas when it comes to IIM Indore. Para jumbles, which were dropped in 2024, could come back. DLR can go harder, more database question can come into picture. Don't throw away 2024 to 2025 preparation. It is still your baseline. Just add CAT 2020 mocks to your rotation and build a harder simulation on the edge. Keep these 5 verticals into your mind as you are going through the CAT preparation. You will be able to crack one of the best institute, maybe Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kolkata. Now students are asking me, is IIM Indore really setting CAT 2026? I know some of you who are going to watch this video thinking that is this confirm or is this a speculation? And this is a fair question. Let me be transparent. Official confirmation comes in the late July 2026 when CAT notification drops on imcat.ac.in. That is always when they announce the conveying IIM. So technically, as of now, it's not officially confirmed. But here is the thing: the industry has already decided. The reason is simple: rotation logic is airtight. Five of the six IIMs have conveyed the exam in last 5 years. Only one is remaining. And there's no ambiguity in the math. Every major coaching platform, Krakow, IMS, Career Launcher, MBA Universe, is pointing to Indore, not because they have insider information, because the process of elimination leaves exactly one answer. So treat late July notification as formality. Your preparation decision should start now, not after confirmation. Now students are asking me how the paper setting rotation actually works. Let me explain how this rotation actually works, because lot of aspirations don't have any idea. CAT is not set by a permanent committee. Every year, one of the six senior IIMs take the role of conveyor. They set the paper, they manage the normalization, they release the answer key, they owe the result to the process. The six IIMs such as Bangalore, Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Kozhikode, Indore. The acronym is Blackie, which is actually a useful way to remember the rotation. The cycle runs roughly after 5 years. I would say every 5 years, each IIM gets one slot, and then the wait stops. Now, Indore is the newest entrant to this group. They were added in 2013, which actually makes them the slot which is very predictable, because we have a clean and short history when you look at IIM Indore. The conveyor is typically a senior faculty member of the conveying IIM. The person owns everything: paper design, difficulty, whatever that is needed for CAT exam. Which is why the academic background and research focus of the faculty member matters a lot during your preparation stage. One more thing, the announcement comes in the last week of July. When the cat notification is released, mark that in your calendar. When IIM.cat.ac.in goes live with the notification, check it immediately. So, what I wanted to tell here is the background of the conveyor matters a lot when it comes to CAT exam. Post that, let me walk you through the actual historical record because this is where things get really interesting. In 2021, IIM Calcutta conveyed where the second year of computer-based testing happened. The format was still establishing after a 2009 Prometic crash, but it was not a dramatic situation. In 2012, I am Kojiko conducted the pivoted VRC away from vocabulary towards reading comprehension and critical listening, and that has been a meaningful shift. In 2013, I am Indore has made the debut 60 questions, 140 minutes, two sections. They introduced sectional time for the first time. They were locked into each session. In 2014, Indore again with Dr. Rohit Kapoor retained for second year itself, and they flipped their own 2013 decision, which is of sectional timings, and they have removed the sectional timings. Questions bumped to 100, and TCS replaced Prometric as a administration. That was the moment the glitch era ended. In 2015, IIM Ahmedabad introduced the three section format, 40-minute sectional limit, and theta questions. That is the architecture we still use today, and Ahmedabad deserves the credit for it. In 2016 to 2019, Bangalore, Lucknow, Kolkata, Kozhikode each left their mark. Lucknow made QA harder, Kolkata made DLR brutal. In 2022, Indo's third run, which was a COVID year, they cut the duration by 33%, which went from two slots to three and restored the sectional time. So the format becomes 120 minutes, three slots, sectional timing, and I would say sectional limit is what every single IIM has used since. In 2021 to 2025, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Kolkata, Kozhikode, all these IIMs are working with Indo's 2020 pattern. So if you look at here, they have made some changes when it comes to format, when it comes to questions, when it comes to setting up the questions, when it comes to DLR. In 2026, Indore is expected back, and the pattern is clear and it is not a subtle pattern. Now, why Indore is the only logical answer when it comes to 2026? Let me just close the loop on this completely. Five reasons, and all these reasons are inarguable. Number one reason is the black key cycle is well documented. Six senior IAMs rotated the conveyor role. It has held without exception since 2011. This is not a rumor, it's a 15 years of data. Two, five of the six have conveyed in the last 5 years. A in 2021, B in 2022, L in 2023, C in 2024, K in 2025, all accounted for one, and that is only one remaining, which is I am Indore. Third factor, in those last turn was 2022. So it means that from 2020 to 2026, a 6 years gap has already been made. That's the longest gap any senior IAM has made without conveying in the modern era, and they are overdue. Fourth factor, industry consensus is anonymous. Now coming to the next slide, let's discuss about Indo's signature, a 13-year track record of structural change. Here's track record that we have summarized in three numbers. First three stands for three conveyor ships 2013, 14, and 2020. It is more than any other IAM in the same window. Next one is three structure shape. Every time they have conveyed the CAT exam, something have changed. Not just difficulty level, not just pattern, they have changed so many things. Third vertical in the list is zero status quo years. That's the number of times Indore has conveyed and done nothing different. I would say zero. So think about what that means for you as an aspirant. Every other I am at the same point basically run the same paper as the year before. But Indore has never done that. So when people tell you CAT 2026 will be probably be the same as CAT 2025, they might be right after big picture format. But somewhere down in the picture, somewhere down the line, Indore will leave their mark. That's not a speculation. That's a 13-year pattern that we have seen during this CAT journey. Let's discuss about CAT 2013 when I am Indore debut into CAT exam. Let's look at each Indore year individually, starting from 2013. This was Indore's debut, and right out of the gate, they made a structural decision in CAT exam. 60 questions, 140 minutes, two sections with 30 questions each, and the big move came into picture where the sectional time limit got reduced. During that time, You couldn't cherry pick your questions across the paper. You had 70 minutes in each section and then it is going to be over. Now, sectional time limits sound obvious today. We are going to use to them. But at the time, this was a meaningful change in how the exam that has been administered. Indore used their first year to research, establish, and control over test taking experience. That tells you something about how they think about CAT exam. In 2014, again, same conveyor Dr. Rohit Kapoor retained for the second consecutive year. But something unusual happened. And what did Indore do here? They reversed their own decision from last year itself. The sectional timings have gone, they have been completely removed. The constraint they built in 2013 was dismantled in 2014. Questions jumped from 16 to 100. Durations went to 120 minutes. Paper got significantly longer. And the biggest move come into picture where TCS replaced the prometric as exam administrator. If you have heard horror stories about cat crashes, mainly you might have heard about cat crash, lost answers, centers going dark midnight. So that is all because of Prometric. It got ended in 2014 where Indore changed the vendor to TCS. So think about that scale of a decision which made by IIM Indore. This was not a difficulty adjustment. That was more about change management when it comes to technical infrastructure of one of the most competitive exams in India. Indore did it in their second year, and that's kind of ambition we are dealing with. Post that, in 2020, Indore re-platforms. And in 2020, the year changed everything for the whole world, not just CAT. COVID has upended every substandardized exam. Most institutions were scrambling to just run something. Indore took a different approach entirely. They used the disruption as an opportunity to redesign. Duration dropped from 180 minutes to 120 minutes, a 33% cut in timing. Think about how radical is that if you are solving the same kind of paper in third less time. Three exam slots were discussed, where came into picture instead of two, and more aspirants served per day. The sectional timing, which Indore reduced, I would say removed in 2014, was again restored. 40 minutes per session, hard stops were there. The paper count settled at 76 questions, 26 in VRC, 24 in DLR, 26 in QA. Now, here's what makes truly significant here. In 2020, 120 minutes, three slots, and sectional limits has been used by every single time since I am in 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. For 6 years, CAT papers ran on the same architecture model which has been built by IIM Indore. Professor Harshal Lavlekar and the IIM Indore team didn't just manage a crisis, they handed the exam with a new identity. And every aspirant since from that day studying a IIM Indore design exam, whether they knew it or not. Now, let's discuss about the 15-year pattern timeline. Let's zoom out for a second and I'll show you four durable structure changes which have been made from 2021 and who is responsible for it. Change 1. In 2014, TCS comes into picture. This was the year where the glitch-free CBT era began and Indore laid that moment. Change 2. In 2015, three sectional format came into picture. 40 sectional minutes were given, Tita subjects and Tita questions came into picture, and this was IIM Ahmedabad, one of the most lasting contribution that they were made when it comes to CAT exam. Change 3 in 2020, the duration reduced to 120 minutes, three slots, and this was the current template that they have built, and we are still following the template. Indore again laid. Change 4 in 2024, VRC get remixed. Para jumbles drop, para summary and odd sentences rise. DLR expand to 5 sets. I am Calcutta's fingerprint came into picture. Two out of four structural changes in 15 years came from Indore, and the other two came from Ahmedabad and Calcutta. That's a disproportionate impact for an IIM that only joined the rotation after 2013. Now they are back again, and fifth change is going to be happen or not. Let's wait up to November. Now, before we talk about prediction, let's make sure why we are aligned on the current format. This is the baseline that every coaching institute is teaching to us. Duration is 120 minutes total, 40 minutes per session, three slots across the day. If I talk about sections, VRC, DLR, QA, fixed order, no jumping between sessions. Once your time is up, question count, there are almost 68 questions totally coming into picture, roughly 24 in VRC, 20 in DLR, 22 in QA. If I talk about the marking scheme, plus 3 for correct, minus 1 for wrong MCQ, and critically 0 penalty for theta questions. The type in the answer questions carry no negative marking that matters for your strategy. When it comes to DLR, 5 sets, wide variety of puzzle types came into picture than previous types. The analytical rigor has always been elevated from 2018, where Calcutta has accelerated the analytical rigor. In VRC, para summary, odd sentence questions dominated a lot. Para jumbles were dropped in 2024. So, guys, you need to understand that this is your floor. This is the minimum you need to be prepared for. Everything we talk about next is about preparing for what Indore might add or change on top of this. Now, let's talk about the predictions when it comes to CAT 2026. All right, so let me walk you through every dimension of CAT 2026 with the confidence level that is attached there. The conveying I am would be I am Indore. If I talk about the confidence level, it is very high and we have established this. The exam date, it would be Sunday, 29 November 2026. Again, the confidence is very high. If I talk about the mode, slots, and language, it is going to be computer based. Three slots, English, roughly 120, 170 to 180 cities would be there, and none of this is going to change. If I talk about duration, 120 minutes, 40 minutes sectional time will be given. PWD candidates will get 160 minutes, and the confidence is very high from our side. If I talk about sectionals, VRC, DLR, QA will be the order, and we have a strong confidence in it. If I talk about marking scheme, plus 3, minus 1 for MCQ, plus 3, 0 for theta, and again the confidence is very high. Now let's talk about some interesting facts. If I talk about total questions, the base case is 68, but a drift of 70 to 76 is genuinely plausible. Confidence is low, and this is the biggest wild card for the CAT aspirants. Second one is VRC submix. Para jumbles may retain a new subtype is possible, confidence is very high, and this is probably the most likely visible change. Post that, if I talk about DLR, 5 sets can come into picture, and theta based questions will be heavy than 2024. Confidence is moderate to high. If I talk about QA, it would be arithmetic heavy, application based, and word problem led. Confidence is moderate. If I talk about overall difficulty, it would be around moderate to high. It will be harder than 2024, but comparable to 2025. And the confidence is moderate to high for us. If I talk about the registrations, around 2.7 to 3 lakh aspirants are appearing, so confidence is moderate for us. So guys, pause and take the screenshot of high confidence rows. Those are your certainties. Build your preparation around them. The moderate to confidence rows is where you have to manage the risk. Now, what can happen to you during the CAT exam when it comes to IIM Indore? Indore will change something for you. The only question is what? So there are three most likely scenarios for you. Scenario 1, VRC remix. Here the probability is very high, where para jumbles were came into the, I would say, dropped in 2024 by IIM Kolkata. Indore has no obligation to keep them out. And historically, IIM Indore has used VRC as a place to introduce new questions. I would say the subtypes. For this scenario, I feel, we feel parajumbles might return, and it is possibly a brand new subtype that will come into picture. The inference based questions, argument questions, something that has not been in your mock stock can come into picture. The VRC count stays around 24, but the mix shift will happen. So, guys, when it comes to preparation, bring parajumble practice into the preparation as a part of your daily routine. 15 minutes a day, and that is not in September. Try to prepare, try to start preparing right now itself. Scenario B, if DLR goes harder, the probability that we are considering is moderate to high. IIM Indore has strong operation quantitative faculty bench. The academic background produces DLR sets that are constraint heavy and puzzle led. So this is where you need to understand that whenever you are solving any question, you need to understand what kind of puzzles are coming into picture. In 2020, Indore's DLR was noticeably puzzle driven. Expect that will come again. But you can see some twist. There will be some data questions. Instead of one MCQ paper set, think about two or three, and this is more about gaze practice that we are doing it. So go back to CAT 2022 DLR sets, practice that questions, just look at it how the questions have been built, and I would say go through mocks as soon as possible to learn and practice and understand about the IIM Indore strategy. Now, the third case, I would say the third question count creep is in 2020, Indore bumped questions from 66 to 76. That's a 15% increase. If they do the similar set of things in 2026, that will be bumping from 68 to 72 because the time stays fixed at 40 minutes per session. More questions, same clock will be there. So your per question time budget will shrink. Speed will become a biggest differentiator during the CAT exam for you. So what I'll suggest you, build a 72 question 130-minute simulation as a hedge. Run it at least once a week. Train your brain to operate under tight condition before getting into actual exam, right? So this is not a guaranteed. All three are within the in those range, and preparing for all the three will give you a extra leverage when it comes to CAT exam. Now, when it comes to last, as an aspirant, guys, you need to understand some things into the picture. Keep your 2024 to 2025 preparation as a baseline. Don't rebuild from scratch. The 68 question, 120-minute, three section format is the still format that will come into picture. So your current preparation that you guys are doing should be your foundation. Try to protect that foundation. Second, add CAT 2022 mocks to your rotation. Run at least three full-length mock 2020 papers before October. This is the single highest leverage thing that you can specifically do for IIM Indore paper. Third, revive your parajumble practice. 15 minutes, a very short duration. Start now. Don't wait for July notification to confirm whether they are back or not. By that time, you will be having 2 months of practice. So try to do practice as soon as possible. Fourth, build a 72 question framework, 130-minute simulation once a week. This is your scenario. This is your insurance. So if the question count creeps up to 72 questions, don't panic it because you have practiced this set of questions during your mocks. Fifth, prioritize your DLR sets. At least two difficult sets that you have to solve it every week. And if you do this practice for almost 15 to 30 minutes every day, you will definitely be able to crack CAT and you'll be able to score good when it comes to DLR. So sixth, watch imcat.ac.in late July. This is the moment and a notification is coming into picture. You have to adjust your mock strategy. Don't just wait for a YouTube video of any coaching. Go straight to the source itself, which is given there. So, guys, the 6 steps are given here. 60 days. That is your age over upcoming days, right? The paper is being set by an IIM that has changed this exam every time according to the conveyor's chairs. Now you know their history, you know their pattern, you know the shape, the way they are changing it. Use that, use this breakdown, and lastly, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Half of the people have not subscribed to the channel, and do share this video to your friends who are going to appear for CAT.